Hey guys, we're going to continue talking about linear equation word problems in this video. So you want to use point-slope form when the word problem gives a sample point xy and a rate of change m. So looking at number 1 here, it says at Eagle Bay it costs $10 per hour to rent a canoe. Nick and his friends rented a canoe for 3 hours and paid $45. So we know we're going to use point-slope form here because we're given a specific amount of time, that would be 3 hours, and a specific dollar amount, $45. Okay, so if I'm letting x be the time or the number of hours, and I'm letting y be the cost, then the point that they've given me is the point 3, 45. Okay, we know for 3 hours it cost $45 to rent the canoe. So this is my point. My rate of change, my m value, is like in the last video, the word problems we saw are per hour here. This is my rate of change, m equals 10. So I'm going to use point-slope form to write an equation for this. And so this is going to be y minus my y-coordinate, which is 45, equals my rate of change 10 times the quantity x minus my x-coordinate 3, and then I'll change this to slope-intercept form, which we know how to do. We can distribute our 10 to get 10x minus 30, and then we can add 45 to both sides, and so we get y equals 10x plus 15 is our equation. So now let's look at the second part of this problem, which says we want to find the cost to rent a canoe for 8 hours. Okay, so if we're renting the canoe for 8 hours, this is telling us that x is equal to 8. So we're going to substitute an 8 into our equation here to find what the cost is for 8 hours. So I'm going to take y equals 10 times 8 plus 15. That's going to be 80 plus 15, which is 95. So this means it costs $95 to rent a canoe for 8 hours. Okay, number 2, we have a construction company charging $15 per hour for debris removal, plus a one-time fee for the use of the trash dumpster. It says the total fee for 9 hours of service was $195. So again, we're given a time, specific time, along with a specific cost. So this is a point and slope problem because here is our point. If we let x be the time and y be the dollar amount, our point is 195, and we're given a rate of change, $15 per hour. So knowing our rate of change and knowing our point, we can use point-slope form. So this equation will be y minus 195 equals 15 times the quantity x minus 9. And then solving for y, I get 15x minus 135. And when I add 195 over, that becomes y equals 15x plus 60. So now we'll look at the second part of the problem, which asks us to find the one-time fee for the trash dumpster. So a one-time fee, you have to think about it, is what the company is charging you regardless of how many hours you've actually used the service. Okay, if you rent a moving truck, let's say, from U-Haul, they'll often charge you a flat fee and then a cost per mile or a cost per hour. Okay, so if we're just trying to find the one-time fee, we're assuming that our x value, the number of hours, is 0. Okay, so we're not worried about how many hours we've used this for. We're just trying to find how much does it cost with without accounting for time. Okay, so assuming the number of hours is 0. So we're going to plug in a 0 here for x, and that's going to tell us what the one-time fee is. And then, of course, the number of hours you use the service is going to increase how much you pay. So 15 times 0 is 0 plus 60 tells us that y is equal to 60. So it costs $60 up front to use this construction company, plus an additional $15 per hour. Number 3 says a company offers premium cable for $39.95 per month plus a one-time setup fee. The total cost for setup and 6 months of service was $264.70. And you're going to write and solve your linear equation and then find the total cost for 2 years of service. What I'd like you to do now is I want you to pause the video and try writing your equation for this problem. Use examples 1 and 2. It's the same setup. Okay. Once you have your equation, click play to check, and then we'll finish the problem together. Okay, so for this problem, they gave us, again, a rate of change of $39.95 per month, so that's our M value here. And then they gave us a time, 6 months of service, and a cost, $264.70. So this is our point. 6 months costs $264.7. So I can plug my point and my slope into point-slope form, as you see here, distribute and add 264.7 to both sides. Your calculator is handy here for this one, but you do get an equation of y equals 39.95x plus 25. So now, taking a look at the second part of the problem, it asks us to find the total cost for 2 years of service. So it's giving us the time here, it's giving us the x value. You have to be really careful though for this problem and look at your labels. We were measuring x here in months, okay? We use 6 months here and the rate is $39.95 per month. So here we need to actually convert this 2 years into months so that we have the same unit throughout the problem. 2 years, we know there's 12 months in a year, so really this is 24 months. Okay, 2 years is equivalent to 24 months. So when we substitute in for x into our equation, we're not going to substitute a 2, we're going to substitute a 24. So x is going to be 24 in our equation here. So we'll take 39.95 times 24, and to that add 25. So using my calculator to do all this, 39.95 times 24 plus 25, I end up getting 983.80. So that tells us that the total cost for 2 years or 24 months is $983.80. Okay, moving on to the other types of problems in this video. So these are problems when we're given 2 points. If the problem gives us 2 sample points, we could say x sub 1, y sub 1, and x sub 2, y sub 2, then we will set up the problems as follows. Let's look at number 4. It says water boils at 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius, or, is what this should say, or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So in this problem, we've been given 2 separate x and y values. We've been given a Celsius and a Fahrenheit for 2 different instances. Okay, so we could say that our x value is the degrees Celsius, and our y value is the degrees Fahrenheit each time. So one ordered pair, I could say, is the ordered pair 100, 212, which is just representing the boiling point of water on 2 different temperature scales. And then I could say my other ordered pair is 0, 32, which is the freezing point of water on 2 temperature scales. So anytime you're given 2 points, you know, for linear equations, the first thing you want to do is find the slope. So here we want to find our rate of change. Okay, what is our rate of change for this problem? So we're going to do that just like we calculate slope. We'll do the change in the y values divided by the change in the x values. So our y values here are 212 and 32. The x values are 100 and 0. So if I simplify this fraction, 212 minus 32, I get 180. And 100 minus 0 is just 100. If I simplify 180 divided by 100, you get the fraction 9/5, which for a word problem you could actually write as a decimal. Okay, for word problems it's okay to give your rate of change as a decimal because we're not going to be doing any graphing for these. So this actually becomes the decimal if you just do this on your calculator, 1.8. And sometimes the decimals in the word problems are a little bit easier to work with than the fractions. Okay, so my rate of change here is 1.8. So now that I know a rate of change and 2 points, I can use my point slope formula just like we did in the previous problems. I can choose one of my points and this rate of change and use point slope form. So I'm going to pick this easy point here, 0.32, and take my 1.8 and we'll use point slope form. So this will be y minus 32 equals 1.8 times the quantity x minus 0. If I distribute my 1.8, I get 1.8x, and then 1.8 times 0 is just 0, so I can just leave this as 1.8x. And then to solve for y, I need to add my 32 to both sides. When I do that, I get the equation y equals 1.8x plus 32. So the second half of the problem now asks us to find what Fahrenheit temperature it is when it is 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it's giving us the Celsius, and remember the Celsius was the x-coordinate for our purposes here, so it's telling us x is equal to 25, and it wants us to find Fahrenheit, or find y. So we're going to take this equation we have, substitute 25 in for x, so 1.8 times 25, and add 32. If we do this correctly, we get 77. So this says that it is 77 degrees Fahrenheit whenever it is 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, number 5, we have another car problem, like in the last video. It says the value of the car decreases at a constant rate. After 3 years, the value of the car is $15,000. After 2 more years, the value of the car is $11,000. So again, we're given 2 points here. We're given a time and a value at 2 different intervals, 3 years and $15,000, and then 2 more years and $11,000. So let's write out those ordered pairs. The first ordered pair is pretty simple. It's going to be 3, 15,000. The second ordered pair, you have to be careful when you list this, kind of like the problem where we had to convert the years to months earlier. So this says after 2 more years. Well, you have to think it's already been 3 years here first. So 2 more years would be adding 2 to the 3 years, so that would be a total of 5 years. Okay, so the second point is actually going to be 5 years, and then the value of the car is $11,000. Okay, so these are our ordered pairs. We need to find the rate of change first to do this problem. So again, we're going to do the slope formula. Change in our y values divided by the change in our x values. So I can put a 15,000 in for my first y value and 11,000 for my second. And then on the bottom, then I would have a 3 minus 5. So on top, 15,000 minus 11,000 is 4,000. On the bottom, 3 minus 5 is a negative 2. So we end up getting a negative rate of change for this, which makes sense because, again, this is a depreciation problem. The value of the car is decreasing. So the rate of change is negative 2,000. which basically means this car is losing $2,000 per year. So now to write an equation, again, I'll pick one of my ordered pairs. I'm just going to pick this ordered pair here, 5, 11,000. Again, you can pick either one, that's fine. And we'll take our rate of change of negative 2,000 and we'll use point slope form again. So this is y minus, our y coordinate is 11,000 equals negative 2,000 times the quantity x minus 5. If I distribute my negative 2,000, I get negative 2,000x, and then I get a positive 10,000. And then add 11,000 to both sides. And my equation is y equals negative 2,000x plus 21,000. Second part of the problem asks us to find the value of the car after 8 years. So it's asking us to substitute an 8 in for x into the equation we just came up with. So this will be y equals negative 2,000 times 8 plus 21,000. Again, let your calculator do all the hard part here. You end up getting y equals 5,000. So after 8 years, the value of our car is $5,000. Okay, last example. It says customers of a satellite dish company must pay for installation of the dish and a monthly fee for service. After 6 months, Jack had paid $594. After 11 months, he had paid $989. What I want you to do again is pause the video. I want you to just write the equation on your own, okay, the equation, and then click play once you've done that. Okay, so for this problem, we're told that for 6 months, Jack paid $594. So we have an ordered pair of 6, $594, and then after 11 months, he paid $989. So another ordered pair of $11,989. So to find the rate of change in my ordered pairs, it's 989 minus 594 over 11 minus 6. This reduces to 395 divided by 5, which becomes 79. Okay, so that's telling us that it's $79 per month is the rate that this satellite dish company is charging. I'm going to substitute my m and my one of my points in to point slope form. Put this in slope intercept form. You should get the equation y equals 79x plus 120. Okay, last part of the problem asks us to find the cost for installation. Okay, just the cost for installation. This is similar to the problem that we did on the front that asked us to find just the flat initial fee, or the flat one-time fee for the trash dumpster in problem 2. Okay, if we just want to find the cost for installation, then we're assuming the number of months is 0. So we're going to let x equal 0 here and plug that into our equation to find the cost for the installation. So this is y equals 79 times 0 plus 120. And so that tells us the installation cost is just the $120. Okay, I know this was a longer video, guys. Thanks for staying with me. As always, any questions that you had, make a note, please, and ask me the next time I see you in class so that we can go over that. And until then, have a nice day. You're all wonderful people. Take care.